Folks, Norm the teacher here with another 3-minute introductory metalworking lesson. In my last video, I discussed what happens when you're trying to part or cut off a workpiece from your stock, and what happens when your cutter is not set directly on the apex of the stock. And I illustrated it with this diagram. If you watched my last video, this being the cutter and this being the line of cut. Okay, what I want to cover in this video is, okay, your cutter is not set on the apex. What can you do? All right, on my particular lathe here, this mini lathe, this is the tool post that it came with, the lathe. Well, it's not adjustable. And if it's not adjustable, then how can you possibly adjust the height of the cutter? Well, there's a couple ways. One is, if you take your bit, this is the bit that's the same as that one in there. You could, let's say your apex is a little bit too high, or you're pointing a little above the apex with the tip of the cutter. You could file down or mill down the bottom edge of this cutter by 5/1000ths, and that would lower this tip by 5/1000ths of an inch. But that doesn't do you any good if you need to raise the the tip. But let's say you're below the apex. Well, what you could do is you could take off your tool post, and here you could put a shim. Now, you can adjust the shim with pieces of paper, for example, by a few thousandths of an inch, or you can even use very thin metal, like from a pop can, that you have flattened out and made sure that it's real flat. Or you could even use metal from feeler gauges if you want to get real exact on your thousandths. So you could shim it, and that would raise your cutter a little bit. Another option is to get a tool post that's adjustable. I'll put this one on here. This is not the tool post that it came with. For example, here, there's a dovetail connection here. All I have to do to adjust this one is loosen this screw, which squeezes this gap here, which squeezes that dovetail. But this dovetail, you've noticed, it can slide up and down. And so an adjustable one, the problem though is trying to adjust it by 2 or 3 thousandths that way is very difficult. There are tool posts where you have a dial, where you can dial as little as 1/1000th of an inch, but I don't have one like that. But anyway, this is another idea